I realized I didn't have a ticket the moment we reached the port. The salty wind hit my face, the waves breaking like distant applause. My sister leaned against the railing, smirking. "Wait, you really thought you had one?" My parents exchanged exasperated sighs, the kind reserved for grown children who failed to grasp common sense. "It's common sense to buy your own," my father said, his voice clipped. I didn't answer. I just turned away, my shoes scraping against the concrete, feeling the weight of years in every step. That's when I started planning. I remember the first time I trusted them, my family, my sister, my parents. I was 23, naive. I had believed in loyalty, in love, in shared dreams. Birthdays, vacations, dinners, they were all promises. Every word they said, every smile, I absorbed like gospel. I thought our family was unshakable. But over the years, I began noticing the fissures, the subtle ones. My suggestions dismissed as trivial. My wins minimized, my failures magnified. Little lies, hidden transactions, hushed phone calls. At first, I thought I was imagining it. Then, the evidence appeared. My savings account diverted. My name excluded from family ventures I had a right to. Invitations I never received. And now, this cruise. They had planned it all, every detail, and deliberately left me out. I felt the betrayal like a cold blade sliding against my ribs. But I didn't react. I couldn't. Not yet. My pulse slowed, my thoughts sharpened. Anger is loud, strategy is silent. I started cataloging everything: dates, emails, receipts. Patterns emerged. Weak points revealed themselves like cracks in concrete. I didn't scream, I didn't confront. I became invisible while watching, learning, calculating. Every luxurious item they flaunted, every social media post, every casual remark, they left a trail, and I followed it. Months passed. I worked quietly, investing, learning legal loopholes, acquiring influence, subtle leverage. Every move calculated, every conversation measured. I wasn't rebuilding my life. They had done that for me, thinking I was irrelevant. They had underestimated the quiet one. On my 33rd birthday, I stepped into the port again. The sun was rising, casting gold across the water. They were there, smug, triumphant, the yacht behind them gleaming. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. When they boarded, I stayed behind, a shadow in the crowd. I had arranged everything. Every piece of the puzzle clicked into place like a masterful composition. And then the concierge called their names. Not mine, not their sisters, mine. I watched through the tinted glass as the color drained from their faces. Their voices froze mid-laugh, their smiles curdling into disbelief. My name, engraved in meticulous gold lettering, adorned the entrance to the VIP suite. Every key, every service, every indulgence of that cruise now bore my signature. Not through theft, not through deceit, but through preparation, foresight, and understanding the system they had assumed I'd never touch. My sister's jaw dropped. "Wait, how?" she whispered. My mother's hand flew to her mouth. My father's eyes darted, wild, calculating, trying to find a loophole, a mistake. But there was none. I had planned for everything. I didn't gloat. I simply stepped aboard. Their astonishment followed me, a silent audience to my triumph. Every glance they threw was a confession. They had failed. They had underestimated me. And I had won, without a single raised voice, without chaos, without the raw spectacle they would have expected. Inside, I sat in the VIP suite, overlooking the ocean. The same waves crashed against the hull, indifferent to our human drama. I poured myself a glass of champagne, the bubbles dancing like tiny celebrations, and I smiled. Not at their humiliation, but at my own clarity, my own power. I thought about betrayal, not as a wound, but as a teacher. They had assumed exclusion would hurt me. They had assumed ignorance would weaken me. Instead, it forged patience, discipline, precision. I had learned to move unseen, to anticipate, to execute without emotion. And in that execution, there was peace. I left them staring from below, a family adrift in their own arrogance. The suite's doors closed, a quiet barrier, a new horizon. For the first time, I felt the liberation of absolute control over my destiny. Revenge is often messy, loud, and bitter. Mine was silent, exact, and elegant. And as the yacht disappeared into the horizon, their stunned faces shrinking into the distance, I finally understood. The sweetest truth: betrayal can break you, or it can teach you to rise higher than anyone ever expected. I raised my glass to the sea and to myself.